Newlyweds Takashi Michiko find themselves at Kundisim bar. The bartender Disem has them stake their lives in a game of darts where each dart landed caused their partner pain depending on where it lands. As the game progresses, their memories return and Takashi recalls suspecting that Mashiko has been having an affair, which he denies. He tries to bend the match in his favor, landing the winning hit, and at the end of the game, it is revealed that they both died in a car crash because of Takashi's jealousy, and Machiko subsequently claimed that she only married Takashi for his money. After Destin prevents Takashi from furthering attacking Michiko, he sends them to the elevator. Takashi is reincarnated and Machiko is sent to the void. A black-haired woman with no name or memory is taken by Nona to the condition where she is assigned to Disim's assistant. Nona takes the women backstage to observe the darts game between Machiko and Takashi, explaining the nature behind the games. After the game's conclusion, the women express her thoughts, believing the Machiko only had a one-time flying, which she regretted and was lying about her baby's father in order to save Takashi's soul. This comes as a surprise to Desim, who was apologetic about being possibly mistaken in his judgment. Two new amnesic teenagers arrive in the Quindicium for another game. This game involves pinballing. The balls contain each other's heart, which each pulse according to its owner's feelings. As the game goes on, the two become friendly and begin to recall portions of their memories. The boy recalls that he is a college student and named Shigeru Miura, and the girl recalls that she was a girl named Chisato Miyazaki, who was once childhood friends with Shigeru before moving away. Shigeru then remembers both he and Chizoto died while on a bus together, while Chizoto also recalls more of the truth about herself. After winning the match, Shagiro asks Chizoto for a short date together. With what time they have left, they part ways at the elevator. Is happy to have had a chance to spend time with another. Is then revealed that Chizoto was actually Shigeru's other childhood friend Mataka, who was underwent plastic surgery to look like Chizoto in order to catch Shigeru's eyes. They are both sent to reincarnated. A teenager named Yosuke Tateshi and a TV celebrity named Mizaki Tachibana arrive in the Quindicium. Mizaki is convinced that they are on a hidden camera show and asks Yosuke to behave accordingly. The two participate in an arcade fighting game playing as fighters based on themselves. Yosuke wins the first round while Mizuki experiences a flash of memories of abusive partners. She asks Yosuke to let her win the next round, during which Destin triggers a device causing Yosuke's joystick to malfunction. Mizuki wins the second round while Yosuke experiences his own flash of memories about his troubled childhood. They realize that they are not on a TV show and Mizuki becomes paranoid that she will be killed if she loses. Mizuki uses a special move, but Dyson causes her joystick to malfunction, explaining that it is necessary to expose the soul's darkness and pass judgment. Desperate to win, Mizuki physically attacks Yosuke, knocks him unconscious. Despite Mizuki's remorse over her action, Disim forces her to continue playing the game. Yosuke regains consciousness and fights back with his own special move, with the match ending in a double knockout. Afterwards, they both realize that they had died, Yosuke having committed suicide while Mizuki was killed by her angered assistant. Dezim sends Yosuke to be reincarnated while Mizuki is sent to the void. Later, Nona is seen reading a children's book titled Shavat. The black-haired assistant has been having a recurring dream about a boy and a girl and is surprised to find the same girl on a panel known to Todicium. To put behind the bar, the two new guests, a man and a young boy, arrive at the bar. Desim is taken aback when the man recalls having been there before and becomes violent as Desim restrains the man. He and the assistant are put to sleep by the young boy, who is revealed to be another arbitrator in the disguise named Ginty. Accuses Desim of not judging his assistant even though she is dead. Ginty attacks Desimo over his insubordination, but they are stopped by Nona, who reveals the guests were part of a test for Desim. She explains that Desim failed to realize the boy had no memories because he was distracted by the man, who was a dummy implanted with memories. Later, as the assistant dreams about the boy and the girl called Jimmy, and Shavat, Nona is seen again reading the book titled Shabbat with the same children on its cover. Mayu Arida, an overexcited schoolgirl, and Harada, a member of a popular boy, and arrive the arbitrator bar run by Ginty, who has them play a game of Twister, while Miu is excited to play with someone from her favorite band. Harada is more concerned with getting back to his girlfriend. When Meiji and Harada demand a break, Ginty changes up the game, causing the climate of the game mat to change with each different panel. They step on from heating to freezing cold suddenly. Miu and Harada are put in sudden death situation above a pit of spikes. Just as Harada is about to push Miu off to save himself, Miu decides to forfeit and lets herself drop. Harada grabs her, feeling guilty over driving one of his ex-girlfriends to suicide. Mayo lets go to save him, but she lands safely on rubber spikes. Miu then remembers that she died after slipping on some soap, while Harada recalls he was killed by his girlfriend in revenge for the suicide of her sister, who was his ex-girlfriend later. Harada takes an interest in Miu after she changes into a kimono, and together they perform a concert for the arbitrator staff, and the assistant comes across the Shabbat book containing the same story which occurs in her dreams, causing her to regain some memories and to realize that she is dead. When she asks Dezim about the book, he tells her it belongs to Quinn, the Quindecim former arbiter, and a flashback to Destin's training. Nona questions him over why he did not use his remote device to affect the outcome. While observing one of Quinn's death games, he reported that he respects those who had lived full lives with intrigued Nona Quinn, who since became part of Information Bureau after quitting her job as arbiter while drinking with Nona. Quinn comments on how Desim is an unusual arbiter with human emotions. Meanwhile, Dizome shows his assistant his treasure, a collection of dummies dressed like former guests who were sent to the void. He does this so that they would not be completely disposed and forgotten later. Nona arranges for two special guests to be sent to Dizem as per known. As request, Desim is sent to new guests, a young man named Shimada and a detective named Tatsumi. While searching for a way out, Shimada finds a blood-stained knife, unsure where it came from. As the two new guests participate in a game of air hockey, Shimada gradually regains memories of looking after his younger sister, while Tatsumi remembers that his wife was murdered, with the two regaining further memories that fueled their motivations to escape. With Shimada's remembering his sister was assaulted. Dozen changes up the game in which scored pucks deals again to the respective players' organs. Meanwhile, the black-haired woman makes a request to see the memories that Dizon received and learns that both Shimada and Tatsumi are murdered. Shimada realizes he has already killed someone. The man who assaulted his sister, Sai Tatsumi, also remembers that he killed his wife's murderer and remembers that Shimada was the one who killed him. It appears that Tatsumi had witnesses say be assaulted so that he would have enough evidence to pass judgment on her attacker. On the other hand, Shimada believed that Tatsumi was a passive accomplice in C's assault and stabbed him to death. Destin gives Shimada the opportunity to exact punishment on Tatsumi by stabbing the plugs. However, his assistant objects and asserts that he cannot judge people's soul based on their memories alone. She tries to stop Shimada from punishing Tatsumi, but Shimada gives in to his anger and kills him. Desem is taken aback by his assistant's argument as she maintains that people are more complex than they appear on the surface. The episode ends by showing the devil atop the elevator, suggesting that both Shimada and Tatsumi were sent to the void. Destin begins to question his ability to judge people. Following the previous game, Nona reminds him that he still needs to judge his assistant because she will turn into a dummy if she goes without judgment. He decides against having her memory sent to him, and Nona sends him a new guest, an old illustrator named Sachiko Uemura. Dezim, the assistant, and the women play Old Maid using cards featuring designs based on things which are important to them. Based on the images they see, Sachiko deduces she has died, while the assistant recalls that her name is Chiyuki. Sachiko politely leaves to be reincarnated. Known as Boss Oculus absorbs the memory of Calvis and the elevator attendant and learns that Desm is displaying human emotions. Meanwhile, Nona has Quinn retrieved Shiyuki memories. Mayu and Harada have not yet been sent on and are still in Ginty's bag. Ginty makes Miyu the opportunity to choose another human soul to be sent into the void in exchange for Harada, who is unconsciously concurrently Dizim. Asks Chiyuki to perform some ice skating, having noticed it was a large part of her memory. Chiyuki regains her memories in which she is used to be a professional ice skater until a severe injury forced her to retire. This led her to become severely depressed and kill herself. Desm and Chiyuki have a final drink together, but he puts her to sleep. Meanwhile, Miyu has decided to stay with Harada and share his fate rather than sacrifice another person in his place. Ginty questions her devotion to Harada and she just says it's her choice. She sends them off into the elevator together, and as they turn into dummies, Harada wakes up, enabling them to have a last embrace. Before entering the void, Oculus confronts Nona's method as he wants to prove that arbiters are more than dummies. Destin shows Chiyuki her old house where she sees that her mother still cares for her, causing her to regret taking her own life. Destin offers Chiyuki a chance to return home in exchange for another's life, and she comes close to taking up the offer. However, upon remembering how everyone she meet in the Quindicium had people who cherish, she then ultimately decides against it. This caused powerful and painful emotion to swell up in Decem, who reveals to Chiyuki that this was the part of her judgment. Nona observes the outcome with Oculus demonstrating that an important part of being able to judge humans is to understand their suffering. Dizum sees Chiyuki off to be reincarnated, vainly attempting to smile. Nona and the other arbiters ponder the implication of the system if arbiters begin understanding human behavior. Later, Dizum welcomes new guest of the Quindicium with a barely perceptible smile, while the bar now contains a mannequin made to look like Chiyuki. And that's the end of the video. As if you loved the video, make sure to subscribe this channel and also press that bell icon, because we will be uploading more such videos. And I hope you like this video. Till then, goodbye, sayonara.